We're going to talk about nutrition facts and exactly how to read them. Everybody looks at the nutrition facts on the back of a label and always looks for calories. Today we're going to look at Wonder Bread. It's been in business over 100 years. Who hasn't had it? So here we have a Wonder Bread nutrition facts. We have at the top, we're going to start with the facts. It says, scroll up. We have serving size. It's important to always look and see where your serving size is. Everything isn't going to be the same. So as you can see here, we have serving size of 2 slices. So every product's different. It might say 5 pieces. It might just give a weight, which is the grams. Here it's 75 grams. And this is important because you need to know how many calories are in each serving. Next, we're going to the amount. The amount you can always find on the left-hand side. It'll give you amount of each fact of nutrition, whether it's fat, carbohydrates, protein. You find the amount on your left side. On the right side, you will find the daily amount. The daily amount isn't as important. The reason why is because it's set for 2,000 calorie diet, and that diet pertains to nobody specific. It's just a generalized 2,000 calorie diet, which isn't important for you per se. So I always tell people, don't look at that. We worry about other things. So we never worry about the percentage. We worry about the grams and exactly what's in it. Next is the calories, and here we have 190 calories for every 2 slices. We get that number 190 from the fat, carbohydrates, and protein. So all adds up, which I will get to a little later. Now we go on to the fat. In these 2 slices, we have exactly 2 grams of fat, which is 18 calories. Each gram is worth 9 calories. Remember that. So inside of fats, we have 4 different categories. One here is saturated fats. We're going to find exactly 0.5 grams inside of these 2 slices. Remember, saturated fats are bad for us. We want to limit those as much as possible. Next, we're going to go into trans-saturated fat, which is very bad for us. Here, it's great. We have none. We always want to keep trans-saturated fat in mind. We want to eliminate that from our diet. Next, we have polyunsaturated fat, which is great for us. There's only 1 gram here, which is good. Then we have monounsaturated fat, 0.4 grams here, which is also good. As much as we can get, the better. Next, we have cholesterol. If you have a risk of heart disease, you should consume less than 200 milligrams of cholesterol a day. If you don't, you should limit your intake to 300 milligrams a day. Either way, you want to keep it as low as possible. Now we have sodium. We want to consume less than 2,200 milligrams a day. If you're over 51, you might want to keep that under 1,400 milligrams per day, or if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or chronic kidney disease. Because your body needs sodium, so you shouldn't restrict that entirely. It helps maintain fluids in your body, transmit nerve impulses. It also helps with contraction and relaxation of muscles. Your kidney usually balances these amounts stored in your body. When your sodium is low, your kidneys will maintain all the sodium you take in. Whenever it's high, your kidneys will excrete it in your urine. So next we have potassium. You should have about 4.5 grams of potassium per day. If if you do a lot of prolonged exercises and very intense, your body's gonna require a little bit more. Now we move on to my favorite, carbohydrates. Yeah, we have a small typo. Should just say 37 grams. 37 grams is the equivalent of 148 calories. That comes into effect when we talk about the total calorie count. Next, we have fiber. There's 1 gram inside of that 30 grams, 37 grams. And we also have sugar. So it's important to keep in mind here when you're looking at carbohydrates. Fiber, you want as much as you can get, and sugars, you want little to none. That's very important because sugar affects your blood sugar level way too much, and fibers are actually great for you. So you want as much of that as possible, and keep your sugars to a minimum. The less sugar you take in, the better you are. Okay, so now we have proteins. Here we have 7 grams. That's about 28 calories. So if we go back here and we look at the 7 grams of protein, the 37 grams of carbohydrates, and the 2 grams of fat, it roughly equals 190. It's about 194. What it's referred to as the 449 rule, and it's really rough. It's not 100%, but it's a good 99% accuracy. I use it. You might be off by a gram or two, a calorie or two, should I say. But it's a great tool to understand, know, and use. Now we're going to talk about a different type of bread. This here is Joseph's. They do a lot of pita breads and different type of very, very healthy breads. If we look at the nutritional facts here, we see it's only 50 calories opposed to 190. The carbs are down to 7 grams. Fat's the same. The protein's a little less. The fact that I'm carb sensitive, I'm always make sure I'm taking in as least amount of carbs as I'm going to use out throughout the day, as well as sugars. So as you can see here, I like to drink carb smart milk as well as soy milk. That's very good for you. Right here we're going to look at some nutritional facts on silk milk. This variety is just vanilla. Soy, very good for you. It's only 70 calories per serving. And there's only 7 carbohydrates, with only 5 of those being sugar. We also have 6 grams of protein, which is also good. We're going to go on to chocolate milk, something I have a very sweet tooth for. And it's been hard for me to find chocolate milk that doesn't have over 30 grams of sugar in it. Happy to find this calorie countdown. And this has only 6 carbs, with only 3 of those being sugar. So this is very good for me. So we're going to look at a variety of different stuff and check out the nutrition facts. What's good for you and what's not so good for you. Here we have Vice Shape by Visalis. Very good nutritional meal replacement. Has everything you need. Has only 7 grams of carbs, less than a gram of sugar. Any added carbs you might need, you can get from milk that you mix it in or something else that you mix with it. High in potassium. The sodium isn't as low as I'd like, as well as the cholesterol. But overall, it's a great meal replacement. The best I've come across so far, especially for the price. It can't be beat. It also has no trans fat or saturated fat and 12 grams of protein, which is great as well. So now we're moving on to some tuna. Everybody's tuna. Here we have Bumblebee Solid White Albacore. And the different stuff to look for on here is it's always high in protein. And one thing a lot of these nutritional facts tell you is how much fat there are in the calories that you're taking in. So if there's 80 calories, it's going to tell you here, it says 25 grams come from fat. So that's a good indicator that a lot of them have. There's nothing but good fats in this, polyunsaturated and monounsaturated. There is 0.5 grams of saturated fat, but it's next to nothing. Great potassium. There's also cholesterol as well as sodium, but it's all good in the small doses that's there. What's great about meat as well as tuna, you will not find any carbohydrates in it. Now we're gonna move on to some healthy oatmeal. We over here is Kashi Go Lean. It says hot cereal, but it's basically an oatmeal. One thing about oatmeal is they're always high in sugar. This one here has 26 grams of sugar, 5 of them fiber, soluble, insoluble fiber. That's great for you, and 7 grams of sugar. We've talked about the different types of fibers and how they're beneficial to you in an earlier video. Here we also have 8 grams of protein, which is great, but you have to remember that the serving size is only 1 packet. I've always eaten 2 packets, and I've never thought to look at the serving size or actually what was in it, but I'm a lot more conscious of what I put in my body and what I'm eating, so it's very tricky. 1 packet gets you everything that's on the label. So if you have 2 packets, you're doubling up on everything that's on the label. Very good to keep in mind. Now we're going to get into a tricky subject. Sugar-free Reese cups. I found these recently, and they're actually very good. So I've done research on them and wanted to find out more about this sugar alcohols. Found out a lot of stuff. Sugar alcohols are a type of carbohydrates called polyols. Part of their chemical structure resembles sugar, and part of it resembles alcohol, hence the confusing name. Where they come from, they naturally occur in plants. Some of them are extracted from plants, but they are mostly manufactured from sugars and starches. Sugar alcohols are like sugar in some ways, but they are not completely absorbed into the body. The blood sugar impact of sugar alcohols is less, and they provide fewer calories per gram. Sugar alcohols don't promote tooth decay as sugar does, which is great. It's also used in sweetening chewing gum. It's important to note, however, that different types of sugar alcohols act very differently in people's bodies. Because they are not completely absorbed, they can ferment in the intestines and cause bloating, gas, or even diarrhea. People need to experiment and see what works for them. Just don't go in and go in on a bag of Reese's because Rome from Rome's Fitness told you to go crazy and have as much as you want. The names of individual sugar alcohols will be on the ingredients list of any product that contains them. They will include the amount of carbohydrates on the label, either in total or on a separate line of sugar alcohols. If the product is labeled sugar-free or no added sugar, the manufacturer must show sugar alcohol count separately. So as you can see here, we have a total of 27 grams of carbohydrates. We have 0 sugars, but 20 grams of sugar alcohols. So I have a graph here that basically shows you the different alcohols there is. At the very top, you can see sucrose, which is sugar, top of the line.
Sweetness is 100. The glycemic index is 60, and that's for 4 grams. That's something we'll go into later. In this product here, there is lacticol and mannitol. So those have a 35% sweetness and a 60% sweetness. And the lacticol has a GI of 6, which is great. The glycemic index is something we will get into in another video. So after looking at all these nutritions and facts and learning about sugar alcohols, it's very important that we all know exactly what we're eating. No dietitian can be there for you 24/7 or nutritional coach to tell you exactly what to buy. But if I teach you what's good for you and what's bad for you, what do you need more of and what do you need less of, you can make these decisions on your own and live and eat properly going forward.